This Monday, June 8, it's the Jamaica Teachers Association Presidential Debate. Principal of the Montego Bay Community College, Dr. Darien Henry, faces off with Michael University College lecturer Dr. Maureen Mullings-Nelson. 2 candidates, 1 stage. This Monday, June 8, starting at 6 p.m. Hear their plans, score their prospects. Catch the action live on the JTA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. It's the JTA's Presidential Debate, this Monday, June 8, starting at 6 p.m. Brought to you in association with the Jamaica Publishing House, Walden University, and the Jamaica Teachers Association. Unite and serve.
Welcome to the 2026 JTA Presidential Debates. It is part of the JTA's efforts to provide an opportunity to hear more about the plans and aspirations of our candidates for the post of JTA President-elect 2026-2027. This evening, you will hear questions formulated solely by our questioner. In addition, there will be questions from some of our JTA regions. We want to thank you for joining and thanks to all who made this possible. Best of luck to both candidates ahead of this debate and for our election during the week of June 15 to 19. Now, to our moderator for the evening's session, Mr. Jovan Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Nash. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the 2026 Jamaica Teachers Association JTA Presidential Debate, brought to you with the kind support of the Jamaica Teachers Association, the Jamaica Publishing House, and Walden University. I'm Jovan Johnson. This debate will run for 60 minutes. As usual, the only judges are you, the members of the JTA. The debate is coming to you live from the WBC Ben Hawthorne Conference Room at the offices of the Jamaica Teachers Association at 97B Church Street in Kingston. This year, we have 2 contenders for the office of JTA President-elect 2026-2027. They are Dr. Maureen Mullings-Nelson, lecturer and placement officer at the Michael University College, and Dr. Darien Henry, principal of Montego Bay Community College. The rules of the debate have been shared with the candidates. Candidates must always be respectful to each other. The candidates will each be allowed 3 minutes opening statements. They agree to 3-minute opening statements in one particular order. For their closing statements, the reverse will obtain. Candidates will be allotted 3 minutes to answer each question. For the entire debate, each candidate will be allowed 3 separate 60-second periods to rebut a response. Candidates will not lose their turn in the question and answer sequence after mounting a rebuttal. And at the end of the final round, each candidate will get 3 minutes to make a final pitch. We begin this segment with each candidate being allotted 3 minutes to make an opening statement. Based on an earlier coin toss, Dr. Darien Henry will go first. Dr. Henry.
Good evening, Jamaica. My name is Darien Henry. I stand before you as a teacher, school leader, and a lobbyist who has spent his professional life in education. I taught English language, communication studies, and geography at Darien High School and Jamaica College before serving at both the secondary and tertiary levels in leadership. Those experiences have allowed me to see education from all angles, from the classroom to the principal's office, to the boardroom and to the policy table. And they have taught me one powerful lesson. When teachers are respected, education flourishes. When teachers are ignored, education suffers. Today, many teachers feel that they are carrying a heavier burden than before. Inflation continues to drive up the cost of food, transportation, housing, and everyday living. Teachers are working harder, yet too many find themselves struggling to achieve the quality of life that they deserve. Let's be honest, many educators believe that the compensation review would have transformed the profession. Instead, many are left betrayed and disappointed and asking themselves if their years in the service matter. I believe that the Jamaica Teachers Association must be robust for teachers, a stronger voice in national policy, and a strong advocate for the future of our profession. The debate around the Jamaica Teaching Council bill has reminded us of something that is very important, that the voices of teachers in decision-making matters. I support high standards, but I will never support any framework that diminishes the professional voice and agency of our profession. Colleagues, throughout this debate, you will hear different ideas and a cacophony of approaches to leadership. I offer leadership that is tried, tested, proven, and ready. Leadership built on service, credibility, results, and a deep commitment to the teaching profession. Renowned educator Baruta Kefele once asked in his now famous book, "Is my school better because I led it?" Tonight I ask a similar question. Will the Jamaica Teachers Association be stronger, respected, and more influential because I lead it? The resounding answer is yes. Thank you. God bless the teachers of Jamaica.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry. Now to Dr. Mullings-Nelson for your 3 minutes.
Good evening, colleagues all. I am Maureen Mullings-Nelson, an educator with more than 35 years of service across primary, all-age, secondary, and the tertiary sector. Nehemiah 2 verse 18 states, "And I told them of the hand of my God, which was good upon me. And they said, Let us rise and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work." These words were spoken at a time when Jerusalem lay in ruins. Its walls were broken, its people were discouraged, and many had lost hope that things could change. My colleagues, I believe that the Jamaica Teachers Association stands at such a moment. Across our nation, teachers are carrying extraordinary burdens. The rising cost of living, limited housing opportunities, and delayed health care. And increasingly, teachers are asking, who is fighting for us? Tonight, my colleagues, I want every teacher listening to know that I've not merely spoken about these issues, I have stood in the fight. I helped to secure the restoration of annual increments. I helped to secure the restoration of the graduate allowance. I stood with colleagues in advocating for retired teachers to be returned to the classroom after being prematurely removed before the retirement age. I continue to advocate for the rebanding of our trained graduates to Band 6. I've also contributed to the crafting of the association's response to the Jamaica Teaching Council bill, ensuring that the voices of every educator is fully and forcefully represented. These are not promises of what I hope to do. These are examples of what I have already done. They reflect a simple belief: when educators are treated with dignity, respect, and supported in their work, our entire education system will become stronger. The challenge before us teachers across Jamaica, it's great, but as a collective group, we can do this. What our association needs at this moment is not division, but my strong and fearless advocacy. I am offering leadership, grounded in experience, guided by service, and committed to results. Leadership that will not stop fighting for the teachers of Jamaica, like Nehemiah. I believe our task is not to focus on what has been broken, but on what we can build together. Teachers of Jamaica, let us rise. Let us build a stronger association with Maureen Mullings-Nelson at the helm of the association.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mullings-Nelson. For this segment, we'll focus on leadership. Questions will be posed individually to each candidate. The candidate will be allotted 2 minutes to answer. An opponent may rebut for no longer than 1 minute. Please be reminded that for the entire debate, each candidate is allowed 3 separate 60-second periods to rebut a response. The candidates have been briefed of all the other rules. Our first question comes from the JTA's Northeastern region, and it goes to Dr. Darien Henry.
Many teachers have expressed frustration with the pace of progress on issues affecting the profession. leading some to question the relevance of the Jamaica Teachers Association membership. As president, how would you rebuild trust, reaffirm the value of the JTA membership, and inspire both current and prospective members to actively support and engage with the JTA?
Thank you very much. Beautiful question. The question of the relevance of the JTA is looming larger. The diversity and the spread of our members has been becoming far more diverse. We have younger members who are in the profession, and they're questioning the relevance of the JTA. It would really and truly be the duty of the JTA to reignite the grassroots of the profession. I've been all over the country, in all the 78 district associations in the 14 parishes, and the growers are familiar that members are feeling disconnected and disillusioned, and they question the legitimacy of their own membership. As president, it will be my duty to reignite the fervor for our association. We have to repurpose our mission as a JTA. We are a highly respected association. We're part of Education International. We're a founding member of the Caribbean Union of Teachers. And we have to find ways and means to ensure that young teachers understand the value of the association and what it means for them and their advancement in their professional pathways.
Dr. Henry, what's one of those ways you would approach this reigniting of the JTA?
Thank you very much. One of the challenges that I think we face is that they feel distant. We have younger teachers, and the demographics have always been changing. And one of the things I've said to them is that the leadership of the JTA itself require that there be, that's my camera? Yeah, right. There has to be a high degree of connection with the members. They have to see the value. It means that we have to ramp up how we engage our members. The truth be told, what transpired over the last 60 years in the JTA has to evolve. And the JTA has to show that it's a union, it's an association that is also evolving. Also, I must say, Jovan, that JTA is a preeminent member association in the Caribbean, and we have to redouble our ways in which we reach to our members.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. Now to your question, Dr. Mullings-Nelson. Why should members choose you this time after not electing you last year?
Excellent question. As an advocate, a staff advocate at the Michael University College, as a member of several committees at the JTA, I have been in training. And so the last time, truth be told, quite a bit of members stated that I needed more experience, I need more training, and that I needed to learn a bit more. I have been in education for 35 years, but they wanted to see me a bit more in the realms and the inner belly of the JTA. Within the past 2 years I've done so. I'm serving as the chair of the tertiary committee. I'm a part of the Salaries and Condition of Service committee. I'm a part of the policy committee. I serve as chair of the chairperson for St. Andrew, for the parish of St. Andrew. So truth be told, teachers wanted me to get that training and wanted me to be a little more integral. And so also being a part of central executive and being a part of general council. I think I am ready at this juncture. I already have the research, the knowledge, the expertise. All the teachers of Jamaica wanted was for me to be a little more involved. I was always involved, but they wanted to see me at that level. And so, based on what has happened, I am ready. And the teachers of Jamaica are ready.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, there is a view among some classroom teachers that principals do not effectively represent their interests. How would you change their perspective?
That's an excellent question. The truth be told, the JTA is an evolving association. However, as an association that has grown in complexity the way it has, it will attract diverse and dissenting voices as it stands. In 1964, when differing unions came together to form the Jamaica Teachers Association, one of those actual unions was a Headmasters and Headmistresses Association. And the truth is, at such a time like this, it would be an artificial distraction from what it is. As a union, we must ensure that we abide by our mantra of uniting and serving. We are part of the essence of collective bargaining, and we have to ensure that that is communicated and the narrative is spread and telegraphed all over. Now is not the time to tear apart this powerful union. Now is a time to coalesce around a singular mission to improve the quality of life of every single teacher that walk in the classrooms across this country. And the government of Jamaica has to know that. But as president, you have to show the posture and the leadership where this is concerned. And so my effervescence and pedigree as president, I will telegraph to the entire membership that we are all in this together, and we are uniting and making sure that we're serving every single member of this association.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, both you and Dr. Henry hold doctorates in education and have led institutions. Why would your presidency produce a better outcome for them, teachers, than that of Dr. Henry?
Thank you for that question. The Jamaica Teachers Association is a union. The Jamaica Teachers Association advocates for colleagues right across Jamaica. As a leader, as someone who would have served on all the committees that I've named, but as a staff advocate, advocacy is what I've been doing for my entire professional life. I have advocated for colleagues where policies are concerned at my university college. I have served on several boards advocating for changes where education is concerned. I also have an excellent way of pulling together staff, collegiality, and the bonding of our teachers. Maureen Mullings-Nelson possess such an ability. In terms of research and where education is going, as a lecturer at the MICO, as a placement officer at the MICO, I have served primary sector, the special education sector, the tertiary and the secondary sector. So I am armed with the knowledge. I also have the passion to listen to others. And I am not of a particular pedigree. I am a teacher. And so every teacher, whether you're of a certain pedigree or not, Maureen Mullings-Nelson can pull the team together. And where we are, I have traveled the 14 parishes and all the days, and I hear the cry that teachers want the JTA to be pulled together. My track record, you know, your grandmother would say, if little fish tell you, say, big whale down a sea bottom, you must check it out. I want my colleagues to check out both candidates and see why I should be given the role of president.
But to be clear, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, what is that one fundamental difference that you would point to teachers to in assessing the campaigns of yourself and Dr. Henry?
The matter of collegiality, because we both have doctorate, we both are school leaders, the matter of collegiality and pulling this association together. Jamaica Teachers Association is a union. Unionism is embedded in my heart. I have worked at every level, pulling staff together. So the essence is not whether we have doctorate or not. Again, I want my colleagues to do their research in terms of pulling this union. We are somewhat fragmented, and I have that ability to pull the teachers together.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, what distinguishes your leadership approach from that of Dr. Mullings-Nelson?
Thank you very much. I think I've built up an enviable reputation in the Jamaican education system as that transformational leader, and the track record speaks for itself. The transformation at Cumberland High School between 2017 and 2021 is still being studied, as a matter of fact, as we speak. The transformation at Montego Bay Community College also is a distinguishing feature of this. I've spent years in the classroom as a classroom teacher. You know, one of the things, when I was teaching at Darien High School, you know, my colleagues were very envious of me. I was always first in ensuring that my grades are uploaded on time. I was always first in ensuring that my assignments are marked on time and all my deliverables are done. That's the kind of effervescence that I bring to the presidency of this association. And so with that agility, that is what distinguishes me from Dr. Nelson.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry. Yes, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, you'd like to use one of your rebuttals. Go ahead.
I heard my colleague mention 2 institutions, and I would have served as vice principal. The data is also there in terms of the media, so we're not making up stories of a backromaster situation in some institutions and how some colleagues are feeling where leadership is concerned. So because the association is at a point where teachers feel that they are not a part of JTA, we need someone who can pull the association together. We need someone who our colleagues can trust in terms of representing them at a high level.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, you wanted to use your first rebuttal as
Thank you so much. I heard the opponent made reference to backromaster leadership, and it harkens to a June 19, 2021 story, which was done at Cumberland High School, where I was enviably referred to as a backromaster. You know, what was a backromaster about? Ensuring that systems and processes were working so that there was effective teaching and learning and that schooling went on. And that has been recognized. That's why I've been awarded the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation. That's the kind of leadership that I bring to the JTA.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry. We now go to our first break on this, the 2026 JTA presidential debate. When we come back, we'll focus on salaries, compensation, and welfare.
At Walden University, we get the W.
We create opportunities, not wait for them.
We look forward, not back.
We focus on what matters.
Learn the skills to get us there, and do it on our time.
Now, it's your time.
Get the W.
Walden University. Set a course for change.
Educators, the Jamaica Publishing House Limited is your trusted source for educational excellence. Our Get Ready to Learn series ranges from ages 3 to 5, helps young learners to build a strong foundation for success. The Mathematics Made Real series, grades 4 to 5, Leaps and Bounds in Literacy, and Journeys in Literacy, grade 4, are on the Ministry of Education supplementary list. The Home Economics for Caribbean Schools, CXE Food and Nutrition, grades 10 to 11, are on the Ministry of Education approved list. Other titles such as the Lest You Forget series, which is our history book, Theatre Arts book, which is the West Indian plays, Physics, EDPM, and other titles are in bookstores island-wide. Our upcoming titles are The Adventures in Social Studies, grades 7 to 9, and Civics for Jamaican students, grades 4 to 6. And they will be available in bookstores this September 2026. You can contact us at 876-967-3866 or just send us an email at the Jamaica Publishing House Limited, that's LTD, at gmail.com.
This Monday, June 8, it's the Jamaica Teachers Association Presidential Debate. Principal of the Montego Bay Community College, Dr. Darien Henry, faces off with Michael University College lecturer Dr. Maureen Mullings-Nelson. 2 candidates, 1 stage. This Monday, June 8, starting at 6 p.m. Hear their plans, score their prospects. Catch the action live on the JTA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. It's the JTA's presidential debate this Monday, June 8, starting at 6 p.m. Brought to you in association with the Jamaica Publishing House, Walden University, and the Jamaica Teachers Association. Unite and serve.
Welcome back to the 2026 JTA presidential debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Teachers Association, the Jamaica Publishing House, and Walden University. I'm Jovan Johnson. If you're just joining us, we have two contenders for the post of JTA President-elect for 2026-2027. They are Dr. Maureen Mullings-Nelson, lecturer and placement officer at the Mico University College, and Dr. Darien Henry, the principal of Montego Bay Community College. We're turning the focus now to salaries, compensation, and welfare. Our next question comes from the JTA's Western region, and it goes to Dr. Mullings-Nelson. We'll come back to that. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, you have defended equitable salary progression and resisted performance-based pay. What if government makes performance-based pay a condition of a favored salary increase?
The details will have to be thoroughly ventilated because, as is, we know that given the inequities in our system, inequities in terms of the funding of schools, as it relates to the assessment of our students, the under-resourced labs that we have right across Jamaica, the upgrades that are needed for many schools in this country. For the government to propose such a thing, we would have to sit as the union to work through all the details of that. What I would propose instead of a performance-based pay is performance-based incentives, because our teachers are doing excellently. When you look at the recent staff appraisal, a lot of our teachers are performing and grading over 97%. And so, in terms of performance-based pay, that must be resisted. But in terms of a performance-based incentive, to recognize the hard work of teachers right across Jamaica, that is what my manifesto is proposing.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, your second rebuttal.
Thank you. Should I be president of this august association and the minister places such a proposal, I will tell her no. Performance-based pay cannot, at this point in time, be enmeshed in the education system, as it were. They have to fix the inequities, yes. They have to fix the funding gap. They have to fix the resource issues as it stands. It would never, ever be something that is to be contemplated to tie rebanding teachers with performance-based pay. That is not to say that when the government postures a policy position such that schools will be put on a level playing field, the JTA will be prepared to consider such a position.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry. And we'll come to the video question for you, Dr. Mullings, in a moment. But sticking with you, Dr. Henry, you have proposed that classroom teachers should earn no less than $30,000 to $35,000 per annum, pegged to regional counterparts. What is your assessment of Jamaica's current fiscal capacity to meet that target?
There is no question that the international pressures as well as geopolitical issues in the Far East continue to influence our economic direction as a country. However, as it stands, we have to make some bold and transformative positions as a government. The truth is, if we are posturing the education system as the marker to drive growth and development and national direction for our country, we have to make some bold positions where this is concerned. The truth is, the government can make calibrations to its own fiscal policy paper to make the adjustments as it were. For too long, Jamaican teachers have been ebbing and flowing at the bottom of the salary scale. That's why they're not staying here. Every Jamaican teacher wants a house to go live into. They want to jingle a key to go into their own homes. Why is it that they can't get that economic independence through the hard work in the classroom to do such that there is? So the truth be told, we have to make some bold steps as they are. Bahamas is doing it, Barbados is doing it, Cayman is doing it, all over the Caribbean country. We have to jettison and do this properly. If they give themselves 300% increase, they can make bold and transformational position for Jamaican teachers.
Yes, but Dr. Henry, what about the practicalities of what you're offering to teachers? Why should they believe you if it is that they are not sure of the practicalities of it, especially in Jamaica's current fiscal conditions with Hurricane Melissa, the impact to the economy and so on?
The question of practicality, though, has to be put and placed into context. Yes, Jamaican politicians are paid way better than any other politician throughout the Caribbean. In fact, the United Nations reported last year, March, that the disparity in salary between a classroom teacher and a Jamaican minister of government is the widest in the world. We have to make sure that we do something to address that. And we have to tell the government that this cannot work. We have to begin by making policy positions and posturing such that we move in this direction. It cannot be that for the last 60 years, we're ebbing and flowing where teachers' salary is concerned, and we're not doing what we need to do.
Dr. Henry. Now to you, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, and this question from the JTA's Western region.
The Jamaica Teachers Association has long served as the bargaining agent and legal support for teachers. However, apart from salary negotiations, many members, particularly those nearing retirement, have never accessed additional benefits despite paying the 1% monthly fee. Do you have plans to introduce welfare benefits, such as compensation or refund mechanisms similar to the NHT's policy, to ensure that all teachers see tangible returns on their contributions? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Now, what I have on my manifesto is better than the return of money from the 1%. What I have on my manifesto is for housing benefits for teachers across Jamaica. What I have on my manifesto is to engage the National Housing Trust, sitting on over $390 billion, to create low-income housing solution for teachers right across Jamaica. For the government of Jamaica to utilize Crown land to provide service lots for teachers across Jamaica. And where our pensioners are concerned, to engage and to put together a pension policy similar to what is in Bahamas, so pensioners can move away from waiting 1 year up to 2 years to be in receipt of their pension payment. And with my plan and the policy that I plan to share with the government of Jamaica is to have pensioners receive their monies immediately. On my manifesto, which is bigger than just asking the association to give back, is some annual benefits for teachers, wellness plan for teachers, mental health breaks for teachers, and also to look at the matter of funding of schools. And once schools are funded and given the support, a lot of the burden will be removed from our teacher. So as an association, we take care, we negotiate. There's the professional arm of the association, and we also have welfare. But we really want to focus and engage in the government of this country to take care of our teachers. As an association, we gave over $35 million to Hurricane Melissa relief. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mullings-Nelson. Dr. Henry, your retention incentive program proposes $1,000 to $2,000 annually based on years of service.
Yes.
How would you respond to younger teachers who may feel overlooked?
Well, the truth is that the United Kingdom, Germany, and Australia, they introduce a similar incentive program, a bonus incentive, as it were. And what it does is to recognize years of service, that is to say, excellence in teaching and seasoned ways of ensuring excellence in teaching and learning. The truth be told, a teacher leaving Teachers College just now, they have not yet built up their years of expertise and competence in the classroom and at the level of pedagogy that is so with someone who has served 15 years or more. So the truth be told, this kind of incentive is being put on the table to incentivize persons who would have been in the system and who would have given yeoman service, excellence in teaching and learning, and this would be an additional pathway to show that incentives can drive motivation among the teachers.
Yes, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, for your second rebuttal.
As a lecturer at the Teachers College, that argument presented by Dr. Henry would be refused. What I am proposing, that irrespective of where you are, once you are a teacher in Jamaica, you should be able to access full housing benefit, and that is part of my manifesto. You should be able to be able to get some amount of concession. You should be able to go to the National Housing Trust directly and not to a bank or a building society to engage them. I'm also proposing that if you are just a beginning teacher, wherever you are on the pathway, you should be able to get full scholarship to continue your education. So giving teachers $1,000 or $2,500, when I did the calculation, maybe it was about $320,000. That's really a bedroom set. And that's a one-off thing. What I'm proposing is a housing, healthcare, pension benefit, and support for teachers right across Jamaica.
At the same time, though, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, the NHT operates on a points-based system. How can you tell the teachers that it is practical that you could achieve a situation where the government could single out a single profession outside of soldiers, the police, and nurses, among others, for this full NHT loan benefit that you're proposing?
The truth be told, there are some things in negotiation that all public sector worker can get, and that could be one of them. Similar to our health, we know that as an association, we don't strictly negotiate for our health benefit. We work with the Joint Confederation of Union. And this could be a win-win for all parties involved in terms of nurses, soldiers, and so on, to say this point system, it's really a very cruel system to Jamaicans. It's really a cruel system to Jamaicans. And so through advocacy, through working with external partners and with the government of Jamaica, we are ready to advocate. So if you leave college today and you have the resources, you need to get a house. Too many teachers are in the system without a house.
Yes. Sticking with you for your question, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, your manifesto promises to champion guaranteed full tuition at the tertiary level for teachers' children. Why should a finance minister agree when nurses and police get no equivalent benefit for their children?
We are focused on the teachers of Jamaica, and when we look at the salary scale, the beginning nurse in this country receive over $1 million above our beginning teacher. When you look at the benefits given to police officers and soldiers, our teachers with a degree taking home under $250,000 as part of a retention strategy with teachers giving everything to give our children full scholarship is really a little drop in the bucket. Jova and I have known teachers because our children are very ambitious. And at the end of the month, take home $3,000 to give our children full scholarship is an excellent retention plan. And I'll be ready to advocate with the government, lobbying the collective voice of JTA to say that this plan to give our children full scholarship must be the way forward to keep our teachers in Jamaica.
How much have you worked out the costing of this proposal?
I have not worked it out, but once I become president, I will pull together the team to work on this plan. When you check in other territories, I heard Dr. Henry refer to Bahamas and Cayman Island and those places. Their children are funded and given the support. Jamaican teachers are stuck or trained grad band 4, getting what Statin says almost at the poverty line. And so Any government who is willing to argue that this is not a good plan is a government not serious about education.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, for another video question, we go to the northeastern JTA region.
Now, my question for our candidates this evening is, across Jamaica, teachers are seeing a growing number of students with special educational needs, while many schools, particularly those in rural, deep rural, and inner city communities, continue to face challenges such as limited internet access, inadequate resources, and insufficient support. Now, as our president, how will you ensure that teachers are equipped to support students with special needs and that JTA's advocacy, resources, and initiatives are equally distributed so that teachers in rural communities, deep rural schools feel as represented and supported as those in the urban schools? Thank you.
The question. There's an urgent need to re-articulate a special education policy as a country, and the matter is urgent. Yes, the Ministry of Education is postulating that it is moving to use in the inclusion strategy to include students with special needs in the general education system. However, there are gaps in the policies as it stands as we speak. The truth is, we have a significant backlog in our testing centers as they are. We have only 3 testing centers, and the backlogs are moving 2-3 years at a time. There are students who are not even entering the formal system, as it were, because they remain undiagnosed, they remain unhinged in the system, as it were. The truth is, the Jamaica Teachers Association must see special education as a matter of urgent priority. And as president, day one in office, a special letter has to be written to the minister to seek an urgent meeting to find out where are we with our special education policy as we are. There is a crisis. Our teachers, as it stands now, they are seeing far more students who are presenting with special education needs, and they themselves are out of their pedagogical depth in reaching these students as they are. The truth is, there has to be far greater investment and a policy posture where special education is concerned. If this is not done, we could talk till we're blue. More and more students are going to be presenting themselves in the classroom, as it were. So this requires a national emergency, a policy posture that is needed now to address these maladies in the system.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, your third and final rebuttal of the debate.
So an excellent plan is what is captured in my manifesto where special education is concerned. 1, the funding of schools. So based on how the funding model that we have in Jamaica, it is outdated. Once we fund schools, so funding of school would capture security, it would capture special education need, it would capture teacher development and training. Another thing that is captured in my manifesto is mandatory assessment of all our learners struggling. Also captured in my manifesto is that every primary school in Jamaica should have a special education unit assigned, and if not per school, per QEC. Another thing that is captured in my manifesto is that teachers who have our special education students in the class, 2 teachers should be in this classroom. A teacher dealing with the students with special education need and a teacher dealing with our general education. Why is that so? The data states that 97% of special education students are in our class, and we need at least 3,000 teachers. So going back to the matter of scholarship and funding, my manifesto, Teachers of Jamaica, it's captured right there.
Thank you, Dr. Mullings-Nelson. And for a rebuttal to the rebuttal, Dr. Henry with his third
Thank you very much. As board chairman of the Landilo School of Special Education, I've had a chance to look through the estimates of expenditure for fiscal year 26-27. And the allocation for special education is minuscule. And this is deep in comparison to the articulation as the government is articulating with respect to the needs and changes that are required for special education. The fact is, one of the major policy priority that has to be put forward, we need to do a head count of who are there in the population who require special education of all those persons before they reach 18 years old. As it stands now, we do not know. We are using raw and rough estimates. Currently, the most recent figures tell us that there are about 6,800 who are in the system, as it were, and 500 in the private system, as it were. But we need a broad-based approach, a broad-based policy to capture and do a head count as to where we are, who are our special education needs, and how we can fit for purpose the estimates of expenditure to reach these students.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry. We now go to our final break on the 2026 JTA presidential debate. When we come back, education, reform, and JTA governance. And just to let you know, we are broadcasting on YouTube at Jamaica Teachers Association, on Facebook at Jamaica_Teachers, and on our website at jta.org.jm. Thank you.
At Walden University, we get the W.
We create opportunities, not wait for them.
We look forward, not back.
We focus on what matters.
Learn the skills to get us there and do it on our time.
Now, it's your time.
Get the W.
Walden University. Set a course for change.
Educators, the Jamaica Publishing House Limited is your trusted source for educational excellence. Our Get Ready to Learn series ranges from ages 3 to 5, helps young learners to build a strong foundation for success. The Mathematics Made Real series, grades 4 to 5, Leaps and Bounds in Literacy, and Journeys in Literacy, grade 4, are on the Ministry of Education supplementary list. The Home Economics for Caribbean Schools, CXE Food and Nutrition, grades 10 to 11, are on the Ministry of Education approved list. Other titles such as the Lest You Forget series, which is our history book, Theatre Arts book, which is the West Indian plays, Physics, EDPM, and other titles are in bookstores island-wide. Our upcoming titles are The Adventures in Social Studies, grades 7 to 9, and Civics for Jamaican students, grades 4 to 6. And they will be available in bookstores this September 2026. You can contact us at 876-967-3866 or just send us an email at the Jamaica Publishing House Limited, that's LTD, at gmail.com.
This Monday, June 8, it's the Jamaica Teachers Association presidential debate. Principal of the Montego Bay Community College, Dr. Darien Henry, faces off with Michael University College lecturer Dr. Maureen Mullings-Nelson. Two candidates, one stage. This Monday, June 8, starting at 6 p.m. Hear their plans, score their prospects. Catch the action live on the JTA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. It's the JTA's presidential debate. This Monday, June 8, starting at 6 p.m. Brought to you in association with the Jamaica Publishing House, Walden University, and the Jamaica Teachers Association. Unite and serve.
Welcome back to this, the final segment of the 2026 JTA presidential debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Teachers Association, the Jamaica Publishing House, and Walden University. We're also broadcasting on YouTube at Jamaica Teachers Association, on Facebook at Jamaica_Teachers, and on our website at jta.org.jm. You can also catch us on some media platforms. Our next question goes to Dr. Henry. The JTA has negotiated agreements with every government for decades, yet teachers leave in droves. At what point would you call the JTA's approach to salary negotiations a failure?
The truth is, whatever the JTA does for teachers, especially in the industrial climate with which that we are wrestling with now, can never be considered a failure. Remember, trade unionism around teachers started in the very early 1900s, and it evolved over time. When the JTA was finally formed in 1964, the truth is there were a lot of angst around the conditions of teachers. An important development in the JTA at that time was the formation of the Salaries and Conditions of Service Committee. This is perhaps the most vital committee of the association because it carries a broad-based membership right across the education landscape, as it were. The truth is, the JTA's stridency cannot ease up at any point in time. Governments all over are pushing certain reforms that are pushing teachers way beyond their own scopes as we speak. The United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, he made it emphatic in his 2025 report that governments must ensure that they put systems and processes in place to safeguard the dignity and the life of the teacher. So what the JTA is doing is precisely what it is missioned and mandated to do. So it cannot be deemed a failure.
Well, how do you respond to public sentiment sometimes that suggests that the JTA, in its approach to negotiations and so on, appears obstructionist and perhaps not even considering the wider public good?
The JTA cannot be seen as a walkover union. The truth is, in this country, there are pockets and corners around our country that seem to have a patent dislike for the JTA. Even the comments and concerns are so capricious in their nature. JTA must stand firm in representing every single teacher and bringing the quality of life metrics that are so desired.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, if you had to choose between your proposed reintroduction of hardship allowance and the resumption of concessions, which would it be?
To ask such a question is to ask to select between two vital organs. When we look at what is happening in some of the volatile communities, I've visited them, and I remember a conversation I had with a principal who said to me that I have a young teacher here, and I'm so nervous that at the end of her tenure, she's going to leave. She has a skill set that my school would really want to grow and develop. And so the hardship allowance must be given to all teachers working in volatile areas. Where the matter of concession is concerned, that is also an excellent way to retain teachers in Jamaica. And I've said it, it's in my manifesto, a one-off concession to every teacher in this country. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. We look at the remuneration of our government and we look at other spending patterns of our government. And so for me to select between hardship allowance to keep qualified teachers in the remote areas and volatile areas where our children need special assessment and need the support. Whether you're in urban or rural area, you're part of the Jamaican education system. And to get a car, this is part of Maslow's hierarchy, the basic thing, a house and a car. So to select either of them, Jovan, is like asking me to select between my heart and my brain. I can select none.
But what about being practical in advocating for the teachers and letting them know what is possible, for example, within the year of a presidency, as you want now?
Well, remember, there is a presidential core, and so there is the PE, there's a president, and there's the immediate past president. We even have immediate past president, one removed. So we are working together. And in terms of practicality, we must refer to our politicians. Our politicians took 300% for themselves. When we look at a comparative analysis across the Caribbean,
Thank you.
Jamaica is at the bottom of the barrel.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, if artificial intelligence can generate lesson plans, mark assignments, and personalized learning, what functions do you see teachers losing over the next 10 years?
The truth is, I'll switch the answer and response in the reverse. The truth is, currently, teachers are burdened by administrative duties as they are, and they are even more preeminent now than before. The Ministry of Education must articulate a policy with respect to the preponderance of artificial intelligence in education as it stands. I know the broad-based committee has been put to work, as it were, but artificial intelligence is moving at breakneck speed, and it has seeped into and percolated into every life of the classroom, as it were. So the Jamaica Teachers Association must be guarded in ensuring that the ministry articulates the appropriate policy, that it percolates down to lesson plan management and proper supervision, as it were.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, a similar question for you on the topic. Your manifesto makes no mention of education's most disruptive force, which is artificial intelligence. What is your position, and how should AI reshape the role of the teacher in Jamaica?
As the chair of the tertiary committee, we are working on a position policy paper, and artificial intelligence is captured in the document. So where you see on my manifesto that I speak to the reform of higher education, artificial intelligence is captured right there. Artificial intelligence cannot replace our teachers. What we need to do is to have training and development of our teachers where artificial intelligence is concerned. What we need also to have policy documents at my college, and as part of the committee that I'm working on, we are creating a policy document to say that because we're in the fourth industrial revolution, driven by AI, driven by robotics, driven by STEM and TVET, we cannot ignore it. What we need to do is to manage it. And so if our teachers want to get support, generating lesson plans, I'm not against that. What we need to for our teachers to do is to be trained in such a way that the methodology is suited to their classrooms. I take note that France and Germany, they're even moving away from AI. So AI must also be managed where they're going back to the textbooks. But in terms of my thoughts on AI, it is where we are going. It's the fourth industrial revolution. It's the movement of the world. And at the tertiary committee, we are working on it. And once I become president, I'm ready to work with our teachers in the primary level, the secondary level, and right across, even the early childhood education level, to see how AI can boost our teaching and learning.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, what are the three most urgent changes you wish to see in a review of the primary exit profile?
Excellent question. As it stands now, there have been some revisions to the curriculum outlay of the primary exit profile, as it were. But the question arises as to whether or not it is really meeting the needs of the learners as it is. I spoke earlier about the issues around special education, as it were, and we continue to see students seeping into the primary system, as it were, and being significantly impacted. The content overload is a specific area of concern for me. The truth be told, that students at this level require modified and calibrated learning as it is. And we have to make sure that they reach and teach, and in such a way their efforts are being maximized, as it were. The second one, in my view, Jovan, is that the truth is, PEP, as it were, requires additional modifications in light of the requirements of TVET. And I want to be specific here. The direction of TVET and where we are going requires a full alignment with the primary exit profile, as it were. Currently, only 20% of students are really and truly getting 5 subjects, as it were, which means that there are some significant systemic weaknesses as they are. So there has to be full alignment and ensuring that there is maximum reach for these students as they are.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, what 3 specific reforms are needed to improve literacy and numeracy outcomes in Jamaica?
Thank you for that question. The first one has to do with the mandatory assessment of our learners. When we look at the assessment done at the early childhood level, and the students are again assessed at grade 1 and they are assessed at grade 3, what do we do with the data? The data is not being used to drive any real change. And so the students transition into our high schools unable to read and write, and we see the results coming out from C-sector. That's the first thing. We must have mandatory assessment. It is captured on my manifesto. Another thing also has to do with the funding of schools. Jamaica's funding model is obsolete. When we look at the funding model for our own Caribbean territories, we think of giving schools $150,000 for maintenance. That is the reason why a lot of our teachers are doing fundraising and selling. That should not be the remit of our teachers. Our teachers are there to teach, and so the model of funding is another major thing. Another major thing that I would want to see in Jamaica is how we look at the matter of performance appraisal. So guiding principle 3.1 on the performance appraisal speaks to teachers having the ability to identify ADHD, autism. Our teachers are not trained to do that. So what I'd want to see is to have special education units assigned to our primary schools right across Jamaica. As I said, even in the QEC, I'm also looking at the matter of our guidance counselors. We see the increase in domestic violence in our country, and so having guidance counselors, not in the cluster-based approach. Today, a very good function was held there, and I heard a student stating that that's one of the cries coming out, that we cannot have the cluster-based approach. So these are some of the things that I would push for.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, what's your position on the use of corporal punishment in Jamaica?
I'm totally and absolutely against corporal punishment. It is an outdated form which is barbaric, and we are in a new era. We are in a different lifestyle. Back then, it worked. It worked for me, certainly. But we are in a different age. Laws have changed, and outcomes have changed, as it were. And we do have on our books a very strong Child Care and Protection Act, which guards against physical punishment of children. So I am diametrically opposed to corporal punishment.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, quickly, yes or no, do you agree with banning corporal punishment in Jamaica?
Yes.
Thank you very much. A question to you, Dr. Henry. As an administrator, what's that one governance challenge you have tackled that has taught you how the JTA should govern itself differently?
A significant governance challenge, and there are many. However, governance must articulate a vision, an overall vision, a strategic vision for an institution. And if governance is defective, then it percolates throughout the entire institution, as it were. If one does not pay keen attention to how the institution is governed and led and how decisions are made, it will pull the institution awry. So governance with vision, governance that is articulated around strategic direction.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mullings-Nelson, a teacher in rural St. Elizabeth is facing eviction and cannot pay the school fees for his children. Under your presidency, exactly what would the JTA do for him?
Thank you for that. Now, on my manifesto, I have a disaster relief fund where we would utilize 3% of JTA's annual income and put it in an investment portfolio. That investment would be used for natural disasters such as Melissa that we experienced last year, as well as to help such a teacher. And we would give the support to the teacher in terms of paying of rent, and the matter that I raised earlier about full scholarship for teachers' children would fall right in place there. So through this disaster relief fund, teachers, the challenges facing our teachers, whether it's a natural disaster, man-made disaster, or just life happening, that disaster relief fund will be used to help my colleagues and also to put in the matter of housing. That is why our government need to provide reasonable housing solution for our teachers. So the teacher should not be paying rent. The teacher should be living in his or her own place where if they are facing a challenge, they can meet with the National Housing Trust and work something out. But that disaster relief fund, an excellent idea that is captured on my manifesto.
Thank you very much. Dr. Henry, and we're winding down now. Arguably, the one-year presidential term is too short to negotiate, deliver, and be held accountable. Should the JTA keep the current tenure for leaders?
Okay, as it stands now, let me just be straight up. I do not have a problem with the existing governance structure around the three-tier presidential system. What was proposed in the mid-1960s at the time, it was proposed that it would sustain the governance and leadership of the association because of some presumptions that were made. The truth is, though, JTA is operating in a different global dynamic, and the time possibly has come for us to have a real look at our governance structure. And I believe the time has come for a resolution to be put forward to have a deep dive evaluation of the association, as it were. JTA is very powerful with its union, which tentacles stretch to as far as Education International and the Caribbean Union of Teachers. But the cries of our own members in our association are growing louder and louder. And there are more effervescent voices that are calling for us to have a look for a president to be sustained for more than 1 year. So I am prepared to have an evaluation of our governance structure, particularly our presidential style as an association.
Thank you very much. And to our final question, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, as president of the Mico University College Academic Staff Association, what is the most important thing you fought for and won that could be replicated as JTA president?
Thank you for that excellent question. A few years ago, we were issued with a bulletin that was not working in favor of staff. I met with the leadership of the Mico University College. We had robust discussion. It was resisted. I pulled together 150 teachers at the institution. We looked at the bulletin and we had a consensus. I went back to the table and we agitated to the point that the bulletin was retracted. Colleagues across Jamaica, if I can do that at that level, I am ready to replicate the same, especially where the Jamaica Teaching Council bill is concerned. Because that bill covers several issues that is not working for our teachers. We talk about the composition of the council. We talk about the double jeopardy. We speak also of the fact that the council want to take over staff appraisal. And so just as how I resisted the bulletin at the Mico, I'm ready to pull the teachers of Jamaica to resist the Jamaica Teaching Council bill and any other policy document, including the government's move to resist moving our teachers to band 6. And so, colleagues across Jamaica, I am ready to work with you and to fight with you, just as I've done at the Mico.
Thank you, Dr. Mullings-Nelson. It's now time for the closing statements of our candidates. Each candidate will be allotted 3 minutes for closing arguments. Based on the agreed sequence, Dr. Mullings-Nelson, you will go first.
Colleagues across Jamaica, you have listened to both candidates. You would have listened keenly and realized that along with my research, along with my experience, I am an advocate. The leadership style that I am presenting is one of practicality. It's not in a book it's in my lived experience, fighting for teachers, just as I said earlier, fighting against bulletin and policies that is not working well for my colleagues. Colleagues, I'm ready to fight for the move from Band 4 to Band 6. Colleagues, I'm ready to fight so the National Housing Trust, sitting on $394 billion, can utilize it for housing for our teachers. I'm ready to advocate that our pensioners will not wait for years to get the monies that they have worked so hard for. I'm ready to advocate for qualification allowance, that our monies that we have spent getting a master's and a doctorate will be properly compensated. I'm ready to look at the matter of health care for teachers right across Jamaica. The matter of funding of school, mandatory assessment, scholarship for our children, all of these, I am ready to fight for. A fighter is in me. You have heard the passion, but I also have the lived experience to back everything that I've said right here. Teachers of Jamaica, the week of June 15 to 19, you are going to select Maureen Mullings-Nelson, the woman with the heart of gold, the woman with passion and unionism embedded in her, ready to lead charge, not from a theoretical perspective, but from a practical perspective. 35 years in education, every sector, received the Prime Minister's Award for using and utilizing the performing arts to help our students. We have not touched a matter of violence in school, and I have an excellent policy for that as well. Teachers of Jamaica, you know that I'm the candidate of choice, and you know that I'm the woman for the job. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Mullings-Nelson. Dr. Henry, now for your 3-minute closing statement.
Thank you very much. As the curtains on the debates come to a close, I think of the equanimity of our past president, Professor Errol Miller. What kind of Jamaica Teachers Association do we want for the future? Do we want an association that is consulted after decisions are already made? Or one that is sitting at the table when those decisions are being shaped? This is the difference that leadership makes. Every doctor, every engineer, even the members of parliament who took the 300% increase for themselves, their journey began with a teacher. Teaching is simply not just another profession. It is the profession of all other professions. If we believe that, then we must also believe that teachers deserve respect, professional dignity, and a meaningful voice in shaping the future of education. The renowned educator Baruti Kefela once asked, "Is my school better because I led it?" I ask the question again. Will the Jamaica Teachers Association be stronger because I led it? I have been tried. I have been tested. I have been trusted with leadership, and I stand ready to serve. I humbly ask for your confidence, your support, and of course, your vote. Together, let's build a JTA that is respected, influential, and worthy of the profession it represents. During election week, June 15 to 19, look for the name Darien Henry and vote Darien Henry. One Darien on the app. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry. And that brings us to the end of the 2026 Jamaica Teachers Association presidential debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Teachers Association, the Jamaica Publishing House, and Walden University. Thanks to our candidates as we now invite them to shake hands. Dr. Maureen Mullings-Nelson, lecturer and placement officer at the Mico University College, and Dr. Darien Henry, the principal at the Montego Bay Community College. Thanks to the JTA's administrative officer in charge of communication and public relations, Mr. Leon Nash, producer Damian Mitchell, and the entire production team. But most of all, thanks to you for joining us on Facebook and on YouTube. The presidential decision is now in your hands. I'm Jovan Johnson. Good evening.